Hey squad, welcome back. Now today, I'm going to show you how you can set up your own complete home recording studio for under $350 US. If you're in the UK, that will be under £300, or if you're in Europe, under 300 euros. So let's get into it. Not too long ago, I released a video on how you can set up a studio. That video was far more detailed and was designed for not only beginners, but guys who are already producing and recording and maybe wanting to upgrade and expand their operations. But this video is specifically for you guys who are just starting out, and the bits I'm going to show you right now are guaranteed to give you great results without breaking the bank. Now, the first thing we need to make clear is that you need to have your own computer already, and pretty much every one of you already has something. The important thing, however, is what type of computer is it? Is it an Apple Mac computer or is it a Windows PC? Now, we need to establish that right from the get-go, because that will determine what type of software we can use to do our recording and production. Now, the second thing we need to establish regarding the computer is what the spec or specification of the computer is. Now, that might sound a little bit complicated, but don't worry. This is important because certain software will only run on certain specification of computer. And I'm going to show you right now how you can check your computer's specification. Now, on an Apple Mac computer, you go up to the top left-hand corner of the screen and you click on the Apple icon. Then come down to About This Mac and click there, and a window will open up which will show you the full spec of your computer. It's as easy as that. Now, on a Windows computer, all you need to do is hover over the Windows icon in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, right-click on that and choose System. Now, in this new window which opens up, we'll see the full specification of your computer. Okay, now that you've established the spec of your machine, we're good to go. Now, the 4 software packages I'm going to introduce you to now are completely free of charge. They're designed and released by some of the top music production manufacturers in the industry right now. Your music production software sits at the heart of your entire production. That's where all of the recordings take place, where all of your editing is done, as well as your mixing and mastering. And the final outcome will be determined by the flexibility of the software. Now, this software is called a digital audio workstation, D.A.W. or DAW. So here are the 4 DAWs that I'm going to be presenting: Apple GarageBand, Avid Pro Tools First, Presonus Studio One Prime, and BandLab Cakewalk. Because these are free entry-level software, the manufacturers, of course, have created some limitations so that you get a taste of the potential of their software with a view to buying into their bigger products. However, I assure you that by just using these free-to-use tools, you can create full production albums without having to spend extra money on the bigger platforms. So let's start off with Apple GarageBand. Now, GarageBand has been around for a very long time, and like I said, it's absolutely free. It's the little brother to Apple's Logic Pro X, which is probably the leading music production software in the world today. Now, the full version of Logic will cost you around $200. However, you must own a Mac computer. The same applies to GarageBand. It only runs on a Mac, but the software itself is absolutely free. Now, the software itself comes jam-packed with a host of great instruments, as well as samples and loops. And the environment itself is fantastic and really simple to understand. Now, to get hold of GarageBand, all you need to do is go to the Apple App Store, type in GarageBand, download and install. It's really that simple. You do, however, need to be running a fairly up-to-date version of the Apple operating system, but once you go to the App Store, it will tell you what the requirement is, and you'll be able to match that with the specification of your existing computer. Next up, we've got Avid Pro Tools. Now, for many professionals, Pro Tools will be considered the industry standard. It has been for a very long time, but however, as I said, Logic Pro X is probably far more popular than Pro Tools right now. Anyway, now Pro Tools First is a great software offering. It comes with a great bundle of software instruments and effects, as well as audio recording capabilities. It's really easy to install and get yourself up and running, and the link to download this software will be in the description. Now, the great thing about Pro Tools First is, unlike GarageBand, this is available for both Windows PC as well as Apple Mac computers. So you have the best of both worlds there. The next DAW I want to introduce to you is the Presonus Studio One Prime. Again, this is a fantastic product made by a world-class music production company. Prime itself is a cut down version of the full Presonus Studio One package. It has great tools for recording audio, for mixing and editing, as well as some superb instruments. Now, just like Pro Tools First, Prime is available for PC as well as Mac, so no limitation in terms of your choice of computer. I'll have a link in the description where you can download and install this software absolutely free of charge. Now, moving on, this other software is an absolute gem, and it's the BandLab Cakewalk D.A.W. This, however, is a Windows only software, so you won't be able to run this on your Mac if you have a Mac. Just like the others, it's jam-packed with great recording and editing tools, great software instruments, effects, and mixing capabilities. Again, I'll have a link in the description where you can download this package straight away. Now, before we move on to the hardware tools, there's something else that I need to tell you about the software side of things. The ability of your D.A.W to use third-party plugins such as software instruments and effects is really important in terms of your ability to supercharge your productions. Now, these third-party software plugins can be either free or paid for. However, it's really important you understand this at the outset, because not all of these packages will allow you to use third-party plugins. Now, these third-party plugins are called VST or audio units. Now, VST stands for Virtual Studio Technology, and those are the type of plugins that will work on both PC or Mac. Audio units are Mac only plugins. These are just titles and categories that you'll come to understand later on. The key is, however, not all of the free DAWs allow you to use third-party plugins. So let's go through it. Firstly, Apple GarageBand. Now, the great thing about GarageBand is you can use third-party VST plugins and audio units. With Pro Tools First, unfortunately, you cannot. The same goes to Presonus Prime. Unfortunately, you're not able to use third-party plugins. However, BandLab will allow you to use most of the current VST plugins, which actually is a great thing. Now, VST plugins absolutely supercharge your overall productions, and I'll be doing some additional videos later on to show you how you can make use of those free third-party VST and audio units plugins in the near future. Great, let's move on to the hardware. You're going to need a few things. First thing you need is a microphone, of course, and I'd always recommend a condenser microphone. Now, a condenser is a far more sensitive mic to the traditional handheld dynamic. It's far more flexible, and the overall quality of your recordings will be a lot cleaner. A condenser will pick up a broader range of frequencies. The next thing you're going to need is a device called an audio interface. Now, the audio interface is absolutely crucial to your whole operation, because that is a device that allows you to convert the sound coming from your microphone into a format that your computer can understand. Of course, you also need a cable to connect the two together. So the kind of cable you need is called an XLR cable, which connects from the microphone to the audio interface. Then you use a USB cable to connect the audio interface to the computer, and that's the flow of the signal. Now, there's a great bundle which you can get by a fantastic manufacturer called this Focusrite Scarlett Solo. It's a superb piece of kit. You get a Focusrite condenser microphone, XLR cable, the Scarlett Solo interface, and a pair of headphones for a great price. However, I recommend you get a bundle which includes a different mic, not the Focusrite one. If you can get the bundle with the Audio Technica AT2020 condenser microphone, it's a far better mic than the Focusrite one. I assure you, I've got both, and this one is far superior. Now, you can get that bundle for around $200, and links will be in the description. Now, the next thing you're going to need is a means of being able to hear what's going on. Because you're just starting out, I say go for some headphones. That way you'll be able to work at any time of the day or night without disturbing everyone else. You'll still be able to produce some decent mixes. It's far better than having monitors in your room that's going to be disturbing everyone. And don't forget, you are just starting out. As you get more and more experienced, you can then invest in some monitors. Spend between $30 and $50, something like that. It will get you some decent headphones. Or if you've already got some decent headphones, then you're already saving yourself some money. Now, another thing you're going to need is a microphone stand on which you're going to mount your condenser microphone. The condenser mic is not handheld. It's very sensitive, so it really does need to be mounted on a stand. And our mic stand will cost you around $20. The other thing you're going to need, and it's really important for you vocalists, is a pop filter. Now, the pop filter is essential when recording vocals because it reduces what are known as plosives. So when you're talking or singing or rapping on the microphone, certain consonants generate a lot of air, such as P's and B's. You blow a lot of air onto the microphone, which is picked up and it sounds pretty horrible. With a pop filter or pop shield, you're able to filter that air out and your vocals will sound so much cleaner. And you can pick up a pop filter for around about $20. Now, another thing I'm going to recommend is an isolation shield. You really want to try and reduce the amount of external sounds hitting the microphone, as well as your voice bouncing off the back wall and coming back onto the mic. Now, there are tons of different options out there. I'd say if you grab something for around about $50, that will do you just fine. In reality, those are the key elements that will get you going. All of this will cost you less than $350, and you can start recording and producing music right now in your home. Now, there's one other thing I'd always recommend. A device such as this can always come in handy, and this here is the Korg Nanokey 2. It will cost you between $50 and $60, but what it does allow you is to be able to play chords and tap out rhythms as well if you want to tap out a drum beat. If you're finding it difficult using your computer's QWERTY keyboard to play your chords and to type things out, or maybe you're finding it a challenge to draw all of the notes in using your mouse, an input device such as one of these will be great for eliminating that type of challenge. And there are tons of different options you can choose from. So to wrap this up, remember, you can get started right now. If you've got a computer already, check out the spec of your machine. Use the links in the description to download the free software. Use the links as well in the description to make your purchases, and you'll be good to go. Like I said, I'm going to be making follow-up videos on each of the different DAWs, as well as how you can use third-party VST and audio units plugins to supercharge your productions. So make sure you check back soon for more. Great stuff. I really do hope you found the video useful. If you did, drop me a line in the comment section, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. This will really help me out. Now remember to support me at deucebeats.com, as well as on my social media channels. And finally, switch on that notification bell so just like the rest of the MTTC squad, you will find out as soon as my next video drops. Until next time, I'm Dr. Deuce. Peace.